Welcome back to Cowpart Bros. Jason and I are fresh off the segment discussing pickleball and its cavalcade of investors. Hell, Jason, maybe you can get in.
I'll consider it.
Yep. Jason, segment 3 is a tale as old as time.
What's that?
Trying to get in for the 1099 or the 10 for 10 deal. Supermarket mergers. Kroger and Albertson's announced plans Friday to merge. $25 billion deal. Could probably be the biggest in United States retail history. Doug, why couldn't they say Dominic's?
Dominic's was just a little too late. A little too late.
Ridiculous. Anyways, so this would be expected to complete in 2024. Would combine to be the 5th and 10th largest retailers in the country, by the way. They own Safeway, your Vons, your Harris Teeters, your Fred Meyer, and about 80 million. They read about 80 million households across the United States. So that's a lot of households, feeding families across the United States of America, people. Now, Jason, have you been to a Mariano's before?
Yes, I love Mariano's. None here in Indianapolis. Obviously, they're a Chicago-based thing, but I love Mariano's, bro. Whenever I walk in, I just feel like this is a grocery store. I love it. Love the people. Love what they offer. Love it.
Got it. So you understand the Kroger and Mariano's connection here in Chicago, don't you?
I didn't learn that until the last time I was in Chicago for the Labor Day weekend, and I went to Mariano's to get some stuff like I always do, and they're asking me for like a Kroger shopper saver number. I'm like, wait, what? So I put that in real quick, and then later on I learned that Kroger, at some point or another, took in Mariano's. So yeah, that's what inspired me to put this in the hopper. Like Chicago connection, let's talk about it.
Yep, it's a lot of people in Chi-Town sweating that shit because it's like, hey, what that mean?
Well, you know what? I kind of get that too because admittedly, I was obviously excited about Mariano's being part of Kroger because it obviously benefits me. But when I hear merger, kind of when we talked about, Elon Musk buying Twitter when it comes to, okay, what things are going to go away now, and particularly what people are going to go away because of this. So that's automatically what I'm thinking too when it comes to this merger. Like, okay, does this mean certain store chains are going to go away, like your Mariano's, your Jewels, what have you, Safeways, your Food for Less, what have you? Not necessarily the whole chains altogether, but just locations. Are they going to turn into something else? Because inevitably, unfortunately, when you hear merger, there's going to be something. Now, obviously, they're touting this as being a big deal where it's going to save both companies, millions of dollars and whatnot like that. They also claim that it's going to benefit the shoppers when it comes to, at some point, making their food a little less, which I'm kind of skeptical about that. Because I think inflation really has more role in that than them merging, frankly. And that's what a lot of people are saying, that this deal shouldn't be done. And there's going to be an federal antitrust hearing about it eventually at some point soon. I have to pull up the names of the senators that are going to be handling that. But yeah, just because they agreed upon it now doesn't mean it's going to go through. Like you said, it's not supposed to happen until 2024 because again, antitrust hearings need to be had before that. So it's possible it may not happen, but that's my first thought of when you hear mergers, like, oh, is Mariano's going to go away? I'd hope not. But at the same time, we don't know. I mean, obviously, this is a thing potentially that could combat people like Walmart, your Amazons, your Costco's. And that seems like what they're trying to do, merging companies. So, I mean, if it happens, we'll see. I have my doubts about them being a threat to either one of those three at this point. But, hey, I'm sure there will be some benefits to customers. I just don't think it'll be price per se, at least not just because of the merger. So that's my initial thoughts on this. What say you?
Mergers don't always work out. Sometimes certain companies need to stay the hell separate. I also think that it could it potentially help? Sure. But if everyone's utilizing the same supply chain all of these stores are having the same supply chain issues anyway, right? Like everyone's fighting the same vendors. So what's really being gained?
Gained by the consumer or the two companies?
Both. Honestly.
Well, that's probably part of what the hearings are about. So officially, apparently, Kroger is the one actually buying out Albertsons for $20 million, and they're going to be assuming the $5 billion in outstanding debt that Albertsons actually has, and this is all according to Desert News out in Utah, who currently has a couple of Albertson locations. Again, so for those of you who don't know, I've heard of the name Albertsons and didn't know where they were. I knew they weren't in the Midwest anywhere. So the majority, as I'm looking at their website, albertsons.com, most of the locations, or pretty much all of the locations, are pretty much in the western side of the country, and some in the southwest. I think Texas or Louisiana, excuse me, is the furthest east state that actually has any locations. So putting that out there for people who haven't heard of it. There's one in Arkansas apparently too. So Kroger's buying them out $20 billion, assuming all the debt. So you would think that if anything were to go away, it will be the name Albertsons and Kroger's will take over. You would think the Mariano's, your Food for Less, your Safeways, what have you, your Jewels will be fine. But who knows? They may turn some of those into Albertsons. They may try to gain some of that money back that they're so. But I don't want to say they're losing money; they're just assuming debt. But apparently, it's going to save both companies millions of bucks. Obviously, we can speculate on how that's going to be, but that's the benefit for the two companies. The benefit for the consumers, on the surface, I don't see what that could be. Not saying this is going to turn out bad for consumers. I'm not saying I'm a business, predictor or financial.
It's too early to tell.
That one hasn't happened yet, number one. And it's not going to happen for another year and a half, 2 years. But all we can do is speculate right now. And not saying there's going to be any negatives for consumers, but I'm just not seeing what the positives can be, because automatically I'm thinking possibility of losing stores like being done. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we don't need that. We're good. Because again, Kroger's assuming debt by Albertsons, so I'm sure they're going to look a way to save money or even more money or whatever. And sometimes that's not necessarily adding business. Sometimes it's taking some away.
Indeed. All I know is this: Mariano's, for those, this is where we get to be mad regional. For those not in the know, for those not in the know, folks.
Not in Chicago.
Yeah. This is where we get to focus. This is not about y'all. This is definitely not for y'all. Where y'all got a Harris Teeter. To be where there's a Mariano's, it is definitely an experience. And the where they got the prepared foods, it's just, my God. Mwah.
Yeah. Like basically any kind of station you ever went to a grocery store that has, Mariano's has it. Now, granted, they're not all the same. I'll say that some are better than others. The one near my dad's house, I'm sure there may be some better, but that one's perfect. In my opinion, it's perfect. Love it. So yeah, but any kind of station you want, like I said, they got a hot bar station, salad station, have a wine bar, smoothies. Got people making pizza for you if you're into that. Got people making like cutting up steaks and cooking them for you. They got that over there. They have an actual bar in the place.
Oh, gelato. Gelato.
And they have groceries too. They have groceries, folks. So yeah. So they actually have its own separate bakery area as well. That's like really cool. You can get stuff made to order in a way. So yeah, again, Mariano's is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's like I want to figure out what's the best Mariano's in the area, so I can go to that one. I've been to a few of them, and I kind of got my idea based off the 3 I've been to. Like, okay, this one sucks. This one's good. The one in Oak Lawn is trash. But
really, what happened there? I feel like there's a bigger story, and I would love to hear what happened there.
I'm not. No. Look, don't get me wrong. The service, it wasn't anything with the service, nothing like that. It just like the amenities weren't there compared to the one by my dad's house. It didn't have as much stuff going on. Like I feel like it was a Kizzles that they turned into a Mariano's, or I get reference to a grocery store that was really local to Cal Park. which is not there anymore. Wish it was. But yeah, but it seemed like it was a Kissels that just happened to turn to Mariano's. Like then they didn't have enough space, so they said, you know what, let's just put some stuff in here, call it Mariano's, and call it a day. But yeah, I do want to find the best Mariano's to go from there. Again, hopefully, they don't go away. But to be honest with you, I don't think since Kroger's the one buying that stuff out, I have to imagine they wouldn't touch any of their own stuff they already got going on. Again, could be wrong, but I kind of feel like all those Albertsons locations that they have, which there are several, 39 just in Idaho, that some of those are probably going to go away and get turned into Kroger's or Food for Less, wherever the hell it's going to be. I would be surprised personally if Mariano's went away. Any remaining Jewels though? Again, if someone's only been to a Jewel maybe less than a handful of times in the last 20, 30 years, I just have a hunch that if anything goes away, because I don't know how many locations they actually have right now anyway. So it seems like those would be the ones that say, you know what, we're either going to axe these or turn them into a Kroger or something else. It's not Jewel. That's just my hunch.
Got it. Yeah, man. You know, I'm not anti-merger. I'm pro merger. I'm just a little apprehensive about just upsetting the apple cart, especially when you have all these brands, and especially these regional brands. Like, you know, I was just watching Thursday Night Football, right? And of course, you know, I'm rocking the Bears gear, and of course, Bears the hell out of all of us. And the best part about the Bears, you know, stinking up to do it Thursday. Like, you know what? You don't have to waste my time the upcoming weekend. I can go enjoy my weekend, my kid. It was beautiful. But Al Michaels is referencing Willis Towers. Like, what the hell is that? What you talking about, Willis? I don't know what the fuck that is. I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Michaels. Sir, respectfully, that's Sears Tower. Just
him from the Chicago, he don't know. He just don't know.
Yeah, just like, you know, that's Marshall Fields. You know, I'm not big on just randomly changing the fucking name. You dig? Like, so, you know, if you want to merge, fine. Don't go just randomly changing regional names. Let those names stay what they are. Let people keep their jobs. Don't mess with the services.
Nah, you know that's not going to happen though.
I mean,
with this merger anyway. Of those things you just said, you know that some of those are going to happen on some level at some point. Well, it is what it is, right? Again, not now the furthest. I've never been to the West or all these places where they actually have an Albertsons. I think the furthest west I've been was to Vegas with you. Now, again, I just don't believe that they're going to keep all those locations or keep them as Albertsons. So they'd be changing that shit up. So, but now that be the case though, when it comes to changing what is offered in those stores, and if you're going to make it a Kroger and whatever they offer. But at the same time, like you just said, though, I'm not sure how Albertsons is different than Kroger's. I'm not sure what they offer there because, again, Albertsons is pretty regional for the most part. So some of that may depend on what's offered. If it's that similar to Kroger, then may not be a big deal. Keep it all the same. Just change the name on it. But all that stuff you just said when it comes to keeping or losing people, keeping or losing some of the name, keeping or losing some of the offerings and stuff like that, you know some of that stuff's going to change, at some point. Or, hell, it all might change. You start cutting locations, you're going to be cutting people. So, and if you're cutting people in stores, you're probably looking to change something going on with Albertsons to save even more money. So, it could completely change. Who knows?
Yeah.
It kind of depend. Well, I guess we got to see what happens with this, these antitrust hearings. But really just what depends on what Kroger is really looking at. They're looking to keep stuff the same for the people so you don't lose business. Or you're looking to really kind of do things the Kroger way and change the ball together and hoping people will stay. I mean, you got to think at some level, though, too, people aren't really necessarily going to be changing grocery stores. If you go to Albertsons because it's convenient, you're not going to necessarily leave just because it's not Albertsons anymore. You're going to give them a chance. But it also depends on what you got close to you. Some people ain't trying to travel too far away to go to the grocery store if they don't have to. So,
yeah. All right. And with that said, we'll wrap up this segment and the show.